I saw Dark Shadows.
On purpose?
I did. It wasn't my pick, but I figured we should review it for the show. But I went at 10 in the morning. And apparently at 10 in the morning, that is when the retirement home lets out for weekend passes. And all the 80-year-old guys go to see Dark Shadows. So that's what I ran into. Johnny Depp stars in Tim Burton's Dark Shadows, so it is a Tim Burton movie. Many of you might not remember it, but Dark Shadows was a cheesy soap opera from the 60s. This movie is just a complete reinvention of that show. Johnny Depp plays Barnabas Collins. He was the son of the tycoon that built this town called Collinsport, Maine. And Barnabas basically is a young man, and he ends up rejecting the it's like his handmaiden or whatever in the house that loves him and whatnot. And they have like a little torrid affair, but she loves him and he doesn't love her. He ends up falling in love with a different lady, so he rejects her. So Angelique is the woman he rejects, played by Eva Green, and she casts a spell on him that turns him into a vampire.
Oh, she didn't need to cast a spell on me.
She looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So she kills Barnabas' one true love with a spell, and then proceeds to trap his ass in a coffin for 200 years. So then you flash forward to 1972, when Barnabas' descendants are pretty much in financial ruins, thanks to the somehow still alive and still angry and spiteful Angelique. This bitch is really angry about him not wanting none.
Been there.
So the family actually includes. I'm just going to keep going. The family actually includes Michelle Pfeiffer, who still looks great. I mean, and I don't know if it's plastic surgery or what, but she looks fantastic for her age. I mean, she's got to be, what, 80, 85?
Why do you got to qualify that?
Well, she looks great.
She's a pretty woman no matter the age.
She's an attractive, because when she's 75 years old, I think she looks pretty good.
Well, yeah, and Tim Burton is kind of known for special effects. So.
She looked great in Stardust, too.
Oh, boy. And Brian's creepy crush, Chloe Moretz, plays Michelle Pfeiffer's niece in the movie.
I wish she, because she had only saw like one
She
small
looks
scene.
really horny through most of the movie, truthfully.
Ryan's like,
Ryan's in.
please.
Brian's like, I got some Dark Shadows to show you. Barnabas, hey, I can't help it. He's the one that thinks it. Barnabas is released from captivity, and basically he comes back and he wants to restore his family to their former glory, make their money back and everything else, and also get a little revenge in the process. That's the movie. It's what it's about. If you saw the show, you know what tone they're going for. It's very much like a campy seriousness. I wasn't a fan of it, but I honestly think if you are a fan of it, you'll like it, because the old half-dead people that were there, they seem to enjoy it. They were all clapping, and I didn't know what they were clapping at. I think they're just happy to be alive. It's like, yay, we made it another day.
Well, they were trying to keep awake.
They were wide awake. It was 10 in the morning. It was just so sad. But from what I remember, it seemed very much like the show. It's very campy and campy seriousness. So they were trying to capture that. I think they did capture it. As a movie for 2012, though, it really never got better than mediocre. The main thing I had a real problem with was why they set the movie in 1972. Because outside of the jokes you see in the trailers, it is irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. It makes no sense to set it there. The time frame doesn't do anything other than say, this is what time the show was on the air. So I don't know why they did that. It just
It's Tim Burton, and it's got to be quirky. And the 70s are quirky.
I think you're right, actually. Of course I'm right, really. There's very little mention of the time, and it's just not relevant to the story at all. It's very much a gimmick. So I can see why quirky ass has to have it there, but I don't know. It seems to me it would be more interesting to make it in the current day. To make this ludicrous, campy vampire just running around in today's technology, technology, Twilight-obsessed culture, I think that would be more fun than going to... Yeah, it would be more fun than 1972. Just random. Johnny Depp and Eva Green were both great. They were both fantastic. They were the best actors in the whole movie. They both chewed up scenery like it was breakfast, and almost simultaneously made this movie better than it should be, because everybody else was just kind of okay. Pfeiffer and Moretz were good, but they were a little over the top in parts. Johnny Depp knew who his character was supposed to be, and he stuck to it through the whole movie. I mean, he never blinked or faltered. Eva Green, same thing. I've never seen her as a villain. I've seen her in a few other movies. including the Dreamers. And if you really think she's attractive, find the Dreamers. That's one you want to watch. Have you seen that movie, Justin?
No.
You should find that movie.
Put it on my queue.
I was just to say he put it on his instant
Yep.
queue.
She's great. So her and Johnny Depp, fantastic. Tim Burton, he's got a quirky eye for visual detail. So, I mean, it still looks great, but he has totally slipped on how to tell a story. And I know we've talked about it before, and Justin obviously has a hate club going for him. I don't hate the man. I just think he's just not great anymore. He used to be quirky. Now he's trying to be quirky. And I just don't think it's working anymore. I think he lets the story suffer for his quirkiness, and it affects the movie itself. So overall, I would say it's not a bad movie. It revels in the campy tones of the series. So if you're a really big fan of the show, you'll probably like it. It just never really becomes more entertaining than a few colorful characters. So $10 is the full price of admission. This one's worth $5.50.